The 10th station of the cross. Jesus is stripped of his garments. We adore you, O Christ, and we bless you, because by your holy cross you have redeemed the world. A reflection by Bishop Robert Barron. The soldiers took Jesus' clothes and divided them into 4 shares, a share for each soldier, and cast lots of his tunic, fulfilling the words of the Psalms. They divided my garments among them, and for my vesture they cast lots. Christ is stripped of everything: reputation, comfort, esteem, food, drink, and even the pathetic clothes on his back. Thomas Aquinas said that if you want to see the perfect exemplification of the Beatitudes, you should look to Christ crucified. He specified this observation as follows: if you want beatitude, happiness, despise what Jesus despised on the cross, and love what he loved on the cross. What did he despise on the cross but the 4 classical addictions: wealth, pleasure, power, and honor? At the root of sin is fear, especially fear of death. To counter that fear, people aggrandize the ego, decorating it with the approval of others or stuffing it with worldly goods. But the crucified Jesus was utterly detached from wealth and worldly goods. He was stripped naked, and his hands, fixed to the wood of the cross, could grasp at nothing. More to it, he was detached from pleasure. On the cross, Jesus underwent the most agonizing kind of physical torment, a pain that was literally excruciating from the cross. But he also experienced the extreme of psychological and even spiritual suffering, and he was bereft of power, even to the point of being unable to move or defend himself in any way. Finally, on that terrible cross, he was completely detached from the esteem of others. In a public place not far from the gate of Jerusalem, he hung from an instrument of torture, exposed to the mockery of the crowd, displayed as a common criminal. In this, he endured the limit case of dishonor in the most dramatic way possible. Therefore, the crucified Jesus demonstrated a liberation from the 4 principal temptations that lead us from God. St. Paul expressed this accomplishment in typical vivid language. He nailed our sins to the cross. But what did Jesus love on the cross? He loved the will of his Father. His Father had sent him into the farthest reaches of God-forsakenness in order to bring the divine love even to that darkest place. And Jesus left that mission to the very end. And it was precisely his detachment from the 4 great temptations that enabled him to walk that walk. What he loved and what he despised were in a strange balance on the cross: poor in spirit, meek, mourning, and persecuted. He was able to be pure of heart, to seek righteousness utterly, to become the ultimate peacemaker, and to be the perfect conduit of the divine mercy to the world. Though it is supremely paradoxical to say so, the crucified Jesus is, therefore, the man of beatitude, a truly happy man. And Jesus, stripped of his garments and nailed to the cross, is the very icon of liberty, for he is free from those attachments that would prevent him from attaining the true good, which is doing the will of his Father. Some questions to reflect on, provided by CatholicMatch.com. Imagine Jesus, embarrassed at this moment. Are you willing to risk anything close to this? To become totally vulnerable to the sake of another? Often when stripped, our true selves will show. Can we begin showing this true self to others without fear? After you have thought about these for a while, please recite 1 Our Father, 1 Hail Mary, and 1 Glory Be. A new reflection of Bishop Barron on the stations will be posted each Wednesday and Friday during Lent. Mark your calendar and come back to the Christ the King website often. May God bless us.